I came across an interesting tweet from your friend Somi, and it's if Richard Hart sold Ethereum at $11,000, rotated the $1.8 billion into PulseChain, you get 121x for every coin, right? So Richard Hart has up over 170,000 Ethereum right now, and there is a big possibility that he might want to use some of his funds to pump up the PulseChain ecosystem. And if Ethereum hits $11,000, that would mean significant gains for PulseX. But that's not all. The God Whale, who also likes PulseChain, has over 150,000 Ethereum, which would convert to over $1.5 billion if Ethereum hits that target range of 11,000. So this could mean massive gains. And I want to say one thing, right? That Richard Hart has always spoken about how nice it would be for PulseChain to hit 14,000x, to get 14,000x. But what you need to remember is that before Hex did 10,000x, Richard Hart used to say it's designed for 10,000x. And that's a specific number that he used. He said designed for 10,000x, then it went up 10,000x in under 2 years. So there is a big possibility that he's eyeing these big numbers. He's eyeing this 14,000x that hopefully it hits there. Now, I hope he does want to buy with significantly, but I hope he's not waiting for a price. And I hope that if he does, he can actually pick the right time to sell and he can deploy onto PulseChain. Now, there is this talk that, if we get those gains, the big whales will just dump their tokens, that they will just dump. And the reality is that it happened with Hex. Hex had big whales. They did not dump, right? Because I do believe that the bigger whales understand that they are not in a position to sell. If you sacrifice like $1 million, you cannot sell. If you cannot sell for your entire, you cannot sell your entire bag. You cannot do that. You can possibly just take in, when it doubles, you can take in the double, or you can sell it. You can sell 3x and remain with the rest of the bag. That means you put in 1 million, you can sell maybe 3 million. The people that, because they understand that if you dump the price and then you sell for nothing, right? So it hurts you if you start dumping recklessly. I think most whales understand it. The people who probably are in the sale range are those who sacrificed, and they're in possibly the best place to be is those who sacrificed, your at least anywhere from say 5,000 to about your 20,000. Those are the people who can actually pull out a large amount, because once you get to the really big numbers of sacrifice, if you pull out too much, you drive the price against you. So those who are the ones that might dump, but most likely that won't happen, because what we will see is what we're seeing right now is when price starts to go up, it attracts a lot of attention to your chain, and that drives more price performance, so it just becomes like an engine that is running, that is kind of propelling itself. That's how these tokens normally move. And of course, with every pump comes a dip. And for the most part, anytime you have a dip, it's mostly it's for example, right? If Bitcoin pumps to say 150,000 and then it dips back to 100,000, right? So for those who got in at the right time, is that really a dip? That's not really a dip. So dips are part of the game, but there is a way to win in and all this. But one of the things that we also have to be worried about is that last time when Hex did the 10,000x, many people did not take profit, because there was excitement about, well, it's not stopping here, it's going to keep going. And I do think that this time might be different. People might want to take profit. As soon as you get your 5x, some people might want to take profit, which kind of at the same time will stunt the growth, but it does not stop it. And all in all, what I would say about that is that, look, at least if the target is 14,000x, even if you can pull a 100x, even if you can pull a 200x, those are still good numbers. And I do think that they're possible. Another thing about sentiment, sentiment is mostly controlled by price. And like I said, that we do have a lot of, I've said this before, that we have a lot of negative sentiment. But if you look at what happened with Solana had negative sentiment as negative gets, right? You had the whole FTX debacle. And the FTX thing is a big deal because the person who made Solana popular was Sam Bankman-Fried. That's it. He's the one who introduced the institutions to Solana. But when he went down, the institution chose to stay. But without Sam Bankman-Fried, you don't have Solana as big as it is today. But all of that people have forgotten, and it's now just moon. It's moon talk. Everyone has forgotten about how many times Solana has gone down. It's all moon talk. Everyone has forgotten about how SBF really screwed all of crypto. It's all just moon talk. So sentiment can change. We can gain back sentiment, and people can hodl over time. And what I don't know is what goes first, right? What comes first? Is it price performance or is it sentiment? But I think that sentiment can shift because it has happened before. It has happened with Solana. Solana is probably the biggest one that has had a really big shift in sentiment and no one talks about all the how it's been down several times. No one talks about the whole SBF stuff. All of that is gone. It's all moon Lambo. Let's go to the moon. So that will most likely happen too with PulseChain when the price starts going up. It'll all be moon Lambo talk as well. Now, the other thing that I've been thinking about is that if Richard Hart starts pumping up some altcoins on PulseChain, because another thing again about Solana has a lot of institutional backing, but it's also winning in the meme land, right? It's also winning in terms of projects that are on Solana that are doing well, and a lot of that is driving a lot of degens onto Solana. So if we start getting these Richard Hart start buying into a few PulseChain altcoins, and we start to see 100x here, 1,000x here, 10,000x here, and the cost of that will be much less than pumping PulseChain, than pumping all of that. It will be much less. So that could also be one that drives a lot more degen attention to PulseChain, and a lot more people jumping into the major coins, because anyone who comes, they will want to hold Pulse, or maybe you want to recycle their profits into Pulse. You make gains on these alts, you put some of that into alts. You make gains into degen coins, you put some of that into Pulse. Those are the movements that we could likely see. But all in all, I do think that there is a cause to be bullish, but obviously you also have to be cautious, right? This is crypto, right? I think we all know that, but there is some cause to be bullish right now. Anyway, let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.